Love them or despise them, MMGs are unfortunately a big part of Battlefield 5's meta, and as such, we might just have to put up with them for the foreseeable future, especially since it doesn't look like they're going anywhere anytime soon. To kick off the start of Chapter 4 Defying the Odds, DICE has given us a new MMG to hate, the S2-200, a 30-round MMG that honestly shouldn't even work as a medium machine gun, but somehow it just does. Now, despite my stance on medium machine guns in this game, the first few rounds using this particular one was actually kind of fun, and actually enjoyable, and felt like I was using more of a light machine gun, which historically, this is what it was. Hey everyone, what's going on? Christopher, the video game historian here, with a new video on the history of the weapons of Battlefield. This week's video, in honor of the recently released MMG from the Tides of War, I am taking a look at the fascinating history behind the Steyr-Solothurn MG30, otherwise known as the S2-200. But before I begin, I just want to say that this video is brought to you by Phineas Coffee, the coffee company for gamers. Whether we're binging our favorite games in an all-nighter or need that extra boost for our streams, Phineas Coffee will give you what you need to get through your gaming sessions. Recently, I've been drinking their Champions blend before heading off to work every morning, but they have much stronger blends available, such as Majora's Blend, Double XP, and Magic Bean Espresso. All their coffee is consistently ranked as some of the best in the world, and best of all, there's no additives, making it 100% pure coffee. If you'd like to try some for yourself, use my promo code VGHistorian to get 5% off your order at the link in the description below. Anyway, back to the video. After World War I, heavy sanctions and restrictions were placed upon Germany, from limiting their military to restricting what they could produce for said military. One of the biggest manufacturers of weapons during the war, Rheinmetall, was hit pretty severely with these restrictions, as the Allied Control Commission had placed them under severe scrutiny and restricted them to only being able to produce artillery pieces. Naturally, those in charge of the company were not too happy with this, and would seek workarounds to the Treaty of Versailles in order to continue manufacturing weapons. In the 1920s, Rheinmetall would buy out a Swiss watch manufacturer, Waffenfabrik Solothurn, and use their legitimate business as a front to throw off the Allied Control Commission, while simultaneously turning it into their research and development subsidiary. Not too long after the company was bought out, they would partner with Steyr-Daimler-Puch of Austria, and together would produce the parts to build what would become the S2-200 light machine gun. This gun was designed by Louis Stange of Rheinmetall and was intended to be a squad-level support gun. It was a recoil-operated air-cooled select-fire light machine gun, with the design itself being rather simplistic, as the action, barrel, and stock were all in line with each other to provide accuracy and balance. The barrel housing was perforated to allow air to cool down the barrel, while the receiver itself was rather tubular in shape. The magazine loaded in at the side near the top of the receiver and was fed by a 30-round box magazine. When unloaded, the weapon weighed a hefty 20 pounds, had a rate of fire between 500 and 700 rounds per minute, with a muzzle velocity of 2600 feet per second, and was chambered in the 7.92 by 57mm Mauser cartridge or the 8x56mm rimmed cartridge. These weapons were produced with a folding bipod and had an optional angled foregrip that could be placed on the gun just ahead of the trigger unit. With Stange's design, Steyr-Solothurn was able to produce their very first practical machine gun in 1929. The parts were manufactured at Steyr and then sent out to Solothurn for assembly and test firing, and this is where the very first prototype of the gun would be produced. Internally, the weapon was known as the S2-100, while in export catalogs, it was renamed to the MG29. A year later in 1930, Steyr-Solothurn would modify the design slightly and rename the rifle to the S2-200 or the MG30. Later that same year, the Austrian military would officially adopt this rifle as the Solothurn MG30, while the Hungarians would adopt the rifle in 1931 under the Solothurn 31.M designation. The German army would also take a look at the possibility of adopting this weapon as a squad support light machine gun, but ultimately rejected it. The Luftwaffe, on the other hand, found that it might be a viable machine gun to have on aircraft, and after a few modifications, such as adding a double drum magazine and removing the shoulder stock, adopted it as the MG15. Its design would go on to inspire the design of the much more infamous MG34 and MG42 machine guns, and would really only see service with the Luftwaffe until about 1934, when it was replaced with the MG17 machine guns. Anyway, that's really all I have on the S2-200 and its history, and if you unlock this weapon and putting away any hatred of MMGs off to the side for the moment, what are your thoughts on the rifle? Do you think this is a viable MMG for a more aggressive play, or should this have been a light machine gun instead? Let me know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to follow me on social media with Twitter and Facebook. Until next time, I'll see you all on the battlefield.